Let's be honest, does your work life ever feel like it's just one long string of forgotten passwords? Yeah, you are not alone. Today, we're going to dive into a technology that works behind the scenes to try and fix that exact frustration: Microsoft's Active Directory Federation Services, or as you'll usually hear it, ADFS. But first, seriously, just take a second and think about it. For work, how many different passwords are you actually juggling right now? Is it 2, 5, maybe even 10? It adds up so fast, right? It's a lot to keep in your head.
And if you're like most people, that number is probably way higher than you think. You've got your main computer login, okay? Then your email password. Oh, and another one for the HR portal. And what about that project site you have to use with a partner company? And of course, that shiny new cloud sales tool that everyone's supposed to be using now. It's just this constant kind of frustrating loop of logging in and logging out all day long.
While all that password chaos, that is precisely the problem that ADFS was created to solve. The best way to think about it is like a super secure bridge. It's a bridge that lets your one single trusted work identity travel safely, even when it needs to go outside your company's digital walls. So, to put it simply, ADFS is really just a way for your company to securely share your digital identity with other companies that it trusts. And this is the magic that makes single sign-on, or SSO, possible. It's what lets you get into all those external apps without having to create yet another username and password. Okay, but how does this all actually work, under the hood? Well, the easiest way to get it is to think about traveling to another country. Let's use a passport analogy, because it makes this whole thing crystal clear. All right, so imagine you go to a partner's website. That's like trying to enter a foreign country. That website has no idea who you are, so it sends you right back to your home country, which is your own company's login page. There, you just enter the one password you already know and use every day. Your company's ADFS then acts like a passport office. It issues a secure digital token, which is basically your digital passport for the day. You take that token back to the partner's website, it sees the official stamp from your company, and boom, you're in. Just like that, no new password necessary. But as you know, the digital world never stands still. ADFS was absolutely perfect for a time when companies ran everything on their own physical servers. Back then, the office walls were pretty much the security border. Today, though, we're all in the middle of this massive shift to the cloud. We're accessing apps from everywhere, and that completely changes the game for how we manage identity. And that brings us to a really crucial point, and this comes directly from Microsoft's own rulebook. They now highly recommend moving over to their cloud-first solution, Microsoft Entra ID. Now that's a huge signal. It's basically saying that since our work isn't tied to a physical building anymore, our digital identity can't be either. So here's the real difference in a nutshell. ADFS is what we call on-premises. That just means it runs on actual physical servers sitting in your company's own data center. Microsoft Entra ID, on the other hand, was literally born in the cloud. It was built from the ground up for the modern hybrid workforce that needs secure access from pretty much anywhere on the planet. So, with this big move to the cloud, you might be wondering, what's the key takeaway here? Well, even though the technology is changing, the core idea behind ADFS, this whole concept of federation, is actually more important now than it has ever been. And here's the bottom line. The tools are always going to change. Today it's ADFS. Tomorrow it's Entra ID. The day after that, who knows? But that fundamental idea of a secure, digital handshake between two organizations, that's here to stay. This federated trust is what lets different companies work together without having to share all their internal secrets. It's literally the foundation of how we collaborate digitally. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about for the future. In a world where our work really has no digital borders, how are we going to define and protect our identity? What is that universal digital passport ultimately going to look like?